There are seasons in your life when heaven begins to rearrange everything around you, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. And sometimes the preparation feels like pressure. But I want to declare this to you today. You are not being buried. You are being planted. You are being positioned for divine multiplication. God does not raise millionaires for luxury. He raises them for legacy. And before He increases your life with wealth, He matures your spirit with wisdom. If you're feeling stretched, separated, or stirred, it's not random. It's a sign. God is preparing you to become a millionaire. Not just in your bank account, but in your spirit, in your vision, and in your impact. Let's walk through these 7 prophetic signs. These aren't ordinary signals. These are divine fingerprints of preparation. You feel deeply discontent with average living. It's not because you're ungrateful or prideful. It's because something inside of you knows there is more. More to life, more to your purpose, more to your potential. What once satisfied you no longer quenches your thirst. The conversations that once energized you now feel empty. The routines you once embraced now feel repetitive and hollow. Your heart, you find yourself waking up with questions that demand answers and going to bed with a heart that refuses to settle. This is not frustration for the sake of frustration. It is divine agitation, a sacred unrest stirred by God Himself. When God is preparing you to walk into a new dimension, He often starts by disrupting the one you're currently in. He doesn't always speak through fire or thunder. Sometimes He speaks through dissatisfaction. He begins to turn the water you once drank into sand. The places you found comfort now feel uncomfortable. The spaces where you felt at home now feel foreign. This is not a punishment. It's preparation. God is moving you away from average because average can no longer contain what He's placed inside of you. The hunger you feel for more is not greed, it is growth. You're being stretched because God is expanding your capacity. You are no longer content with merely surviving. You're being called to thrive. You're not just looking for a paycheck, you're craving purpose. You don't just want status. You want significance. What you're experiencing is a divine shift, a holy dissatisfaction that is breaking you out of your comfort zone. Because the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. But the discontent, that's the birthplace of destiny. You look around and wonder why others seem content with less, while you can't shake the feeling that you're built for more. You see people settle into systems, into jobs, into routines, and you wonder why they seem at peace while your spirit feels like it's in labor. That's because you are carrying something they're not carrying. You've been marked by God for an assignment that won't let you rest. There's an anointing on your life that refuses to be quiet. And that anointing is provoking discomfort in every area that no longer aligns with your calling. You may even try to silence it. You may tell yourself to be grateful, to stop overthinking, to just accept things the way they are. But the inner whisper keeps growing louder. This is not it. There's more. You try to convince yourself to settle, but something inside of you fights back. That something is your God-given identity pushing against limitation. It's your purpose knocking on the door of your present, demanding entrance into your future. The very fact that you feel restless is proof that you are not meant to live a life of quiet desperation. You are meant to live a life of bold fulfillment. God disrupts your comfort before He delivers your calling. You must be willing to leave what is familiar in order to embrace what is divine. Just like Abraham had to leave his father's house without knowing exactly where he was going, you too are being called out of normal so you can step into next. And just like Joseph couldn't stay in the pit or even in Potiphar's house because there was a palace with his name on it, you can't stay in places that confine you. There is a place that is waiting for you. You were made to rule, not to rot. You were made to reign, not to remain stagnant. This discontentment is not your enemy, it is your escort. It's escorting you out of mediocrity and into mastery. It's escorting you out of average and into abundance. And yes, it feels uncomfortable. Growth always does. But the more uncomfortable you become with average, the closer you are to breakthrough. Because what you're feeling is not simply personal dissatisfaction. It is spiritual preparation. God is stripping away what you've outgrown so He can dress you in what's been waiting for you. He's closing the door on old levels so He can open gates to new realms. Every time you try to shrink, He stretches you again. Every time you try to dim your light, He calls you to shine brighter. Every time you try to make peace with smallness, He reminds you of the greatness He placed inside of you. You may not know all the details yet, but you do know this: you can't stay where you are. Something is calling you out. Something is pushing you forward. Something won't let you go back to just enough when you've been destined for overflow. You're being pulled into solitude and silence, not because you've done something wrong, but because God is doing something right within you. The noise is starting to fade. The crowd that once surrounded you is thinning. The phone calls are fewer. The invitations are slowing down. And while it may feel like rejection, it's actually redirection. God is isolating you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. There is something sacred about this silence, something divine about this distance. You're not being abandoned, you're being set apart. When God begins to elevate a person, He doesn't do it in the spotlight, He does it in the shadows. He doesn't crown you in public before He breaks you in private. Before you walk into manifestation, you must first survive isolation. Before you're trusted with visibility, you must be proven in obscurity. Solitude is the training ground for significance. Silence is the chamber where destiny is developed. When God is preparing to make you a spiritual and life millionaire, He must first remove all the voices that compete with His voice. He takes you away from the noise of people so you can hear the sound of purpose. He shuts the doors you thought you needed so you'll learn to walk through the doors He ordained. He removes the distractions you once called friends so you can discover the true identity of your calling. In the silence, He's recalibrating your vision. In the solitude, He's reshaping your thinking. You may not understand it now, but this loneliness is laced with divine design. There are things God wants to show you that He can't show you in a crowd. There are secrets He's ready to whisper that require silence around you. When God is preparing to deposit something uncommon in your spirit, He must first create uncommon space around your life. Don't despise this season of separation. It's in this quiet season that your ears become sharper, your discernment grows deeper, your spirit becomes stronger. This is where God gives you the blueprints for your next level. This is where He reveals the strategy for your assignment. You begin to notice that certain relationships feel forced. Conversations you used to enjoy now feel out of place. Environments you once thrived in now feel foreign. That's not a coincidence. That's God emptying your atmosphere. He's clearing the room of old energy to make space for divine clarity. He's calling you to a higher place, and that requires a quieter posture. You can't bring the noise of the crowd into the place of consecration. This is a wilderness moment, but it's not one of punishment, it's one of purpose. Even Jesus withdrew from the multitudes to pray. Even David tended sheep alone before he ruled a kingdom. Even Moses encountered God on the backside of a desert. Even Joseph was separated in prison before he was elevated in the palace. And you are no different. If God is isolating you, it means He's identifying you. If He's pulling you away, it means He's pushing you forward. He's not leaving you behind. He's launching you ahead. The earth will put you in the gate, slowly and slow. There is a stillness that precedes every spiritual shift. When heaven is about to speak, earth must quiet down. And that's what's happening in your life. God is making you sensitive to His whisper. He's refining your spirit, removing the residue of old mindsets, deleting toxic attachments, and building in you a strength that is not dependent on applause or affirmation. You're learning to walk by faith, not by validation. You're learning to build without needing to be seen. That's the mark of someone being trusted with more. God cannot multiply what is still tied to noise and chaos. So He calls you out just like He called Abraham out of his father's house, out of familiarity, out of comfort. He says, come away, come higher, come deeper. And the ones who respond to that call of solitude are the ones He uses to impact generations. You are not losing connection, you are gaining clarity. You are not becoming invisible, you are becoming invaluable. God hides what He treasures. And He's hiding you, not because you are forgotten, but because you are being formed. God is increasing your capacity to handle pressure. This is not an accident. It's not bad luck. It's not spiritual attack in every case. What you're feeling is expansion, not punishment. You're being stretched, not broken. You're being made strong enough to carry what you've been praying for. Because God does not give heavy blessings to people with fragile foundations. Before He releases abundance, He must reinforce your inner structure. Pressure always precedes promotion. If you're asking for more, then God must prepare you for more. And that preparation doesn't come through ease. It comes through weight. The weight of responsibility, the weight of obedience, the weight of character, the weight of leadership. Many people want the platform but not the pressure. They want the blessing but not the burden. They want the success but not the stretching. But in God's kingdom, there is no shortcut to glory. You must be tested before you're trusted. That's why everything feels heavier lately. That's why your days feel longer, your nights feel more restless. That's why the situations you used to manage with ease now seem more intense. It's not because you're weaker. It's because your next season will demand more strength. You're not being broken down, you're being built up. The resistance you feel is the same resistance a muscle feels under pressure. It's necessary for growth. Without the pressure, there's no strength. Without the tension, there's no increase. God is teaching you how to stay steady in the storm, how to trust when answers are delayed, how to remain faithful when fruit is not yet visible. He's teaching you how to lead when it's lonely, how to endure when it's difficult, how to believe when it seems like nothing's changing. This kind of training cannot happen in comfort. It only happens in pressure. Because pressure reveals what comfort conceals. It exposes the cracks. It forces you to lean into God and not into your own understanding. He's enlarging your spiritual lungs so you can breathe at higher altitudes. He's strengthening your emotional core so you won't collapse when the weight of favor rests on you. Many people want to be millionaires in life and spirit, but few are willing to endure the process it takes to hold that kind of abundance. It's not just about money. It's about maturity. God doesn't want your promotion to become your prison. So He's forming in you a strength that matches the blessing that's coming. Every challenge you're facing right now is tailored to your future. It's not random, it's not chaotic, it's calculated. God is a master builder, and He knows that a shallow foundation cannot support a tall building. So He's digging deeper even if it hurts. He's going beneath the surface even if you don't understand it. Because you can't go higher until you go deeper. That's the principle of pressure. And right now God is qualifying you through what you're surviving. Think of the olive. It only releases oil when crushed. Think of the diamond. It only forms under extreme pressure. Think of the wine. It only flows after the grape is pressed. You're not under attack, you're under process. And this process is refining you, humbling you, preparing you. It's aligning your soul with His will. It's making your heart strong enough to carry wealth without it destroying you. Making your mind sharp enough to manage vision without it overwhelming you. God is building emotional durability in you. He's showing you how to walk with grace even when you're under fire. He's showing you how to stay patient, how to keep your integrity, how to protect your peace. Because what's coming to you will require wisdom, not just charisma. It will demand discipline, not just desire. It will call for consistency, not just passion. And only pressure can train you for that kind of calling. So when life gets heavy, don't ask God to take the weight away. Ask Him to build your shoulders. Ask Him to stretch your capacity. Ask Him to give you the heart, the wisdom, and the endurance to carry what you've never carried before. Because every ounce of pressure you feel today is connected to the purpose that's being birthed through you tomorrow. You're not just being tested, you're being trusted. You're experiencing divine ideas, visions, and creativity, and they're coming fast, often without warning. You may be driving and a business idea drops into your spirit. You may be praying and a blueprint for a ministry flashes across your mind. You lie down to sleep and instead of dreams that fade, you receive visions that stick. This is not coincidence. It's not random imagination. It's revelation. It is a revelation. God is beginning to pour strategy into your spirit because He's preparing you to build what has never been built, solve what has never been solved, and lead where others have failed. He's awakening the creator within you because you were made in the image of a creator. You were never meant to be a copy. You were born to be an original. And when God begins to position someone to become a millionaire in spirit and in life, He doesn't start by increasing their bank account. He starts by expanding their mindset. Because true wealth flows through wisdom. Prosperity begins in the heart, not the wallet. So when divine ideas are suddenly showing up, it's a sign that your internal capacity has matured enough to carry what heaven is ready to release. These aren't just good ideas. They are God ideas. And the difference is this: good ideas entertain, but God ideas transform. They don't just make sense, they make impact. And they come with a weight that stirs your spirit and interrupts your sleep. God doesn't give you ideas that maintain the status quo. He gives you disruptive, solution-oriented, people-blessing ideas that align with your assignment. These ideas won't leave you alone. They keep resurfacing, reminding you that you are made for more than survival. You are made for strategy, innovation, and vision. You're beginning to see things other people overlook. You're recognizing needs and thinking, why doesn't anyone fix this? That's because the solution is inside of you. God is revealing what needs to be done because He's trusting you to do it. The creativity flowing through you is not self-generated. It's spirit-activated. You're receiving downloads from heaven because you've proven you'll steward them well. Not seeking fame, you're seeking purpose. You're not chasing money, you're chasing meaning. That's why God is choosing you. Some of these ideas may feel too big for you. That's the point. If they didn't stretch you, they wouldn't be from God. He gives you vision that requires faith, not familiarity. You're not supposed to have all the resources yet. You're supposed to trust the one who gave you the vision to provide the provision. These God-given ideas are like seeds. And seeds don't look like what they'll become. But if you nurture them, protect them, and speak life over them, they will grow into something that not only blesses you, but blesses others. This season of creativity is sacred. You must treat it with honor. Guard your spirit. Protect your space. Be careful who you share your vision with, because not everyone will understand it. Some people will try to minimize what God has maximized inside you. But don't shrink to fit their comfort zones. Don't apologize for being visionary. Don't feel guilty for thinking bigger. God didn't give you those ideas to make you popular. He gave them to make you impactful. Is stirring divine creativity in your mind, not just for business or financial gain, but for kingdom influence. He wants you to establish systems that serve communities. He wants you to create platforms that lift up voices for His glory. He wants you to generate wealth, not just for self-indulgence, but for legacy, for ministry, for change. Every divine idea you receive is a key to unlock doors that others thought were permanently shut. Every vision is a glimpse into the future God is inviting you to partner with. So if you're suddenly feeling a rush of creativity, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Write it down. Pray over it. Study and prepare. These divine ideas are heaven's investment into your destiny. They are not random. They are assignments. And those who respond with faith, obedience, and diligence will see those ideas become movements. Those visions become reality, and that creativity become the bridge between spiritual purpose and real-world impact. You're learning the value of stewardship and discipline not because someone forced it on you, but because the Spirit of God is awakening something mature within you. You're starting to see that what you mismanage, you will lose, and what you manage well, God will multiply. You're becoming aware that prayers alone do not produce wealth. Principles do. You're realizing that favor without order leads to frustration. And now you are no longer drawn to the excitement of breakthrough without the structure to sustain it. This is a clear sign that God is preparing you not just to receive increase, but to maintain it, grow it, and honor it. You're being trained to handle overflow, not emotionally, but responsibly. You're not chasing blessings anymore. You're being shaped into someone who can be trusted with them. The season of recklessness is over. God is calling you to high accountability, greater structure, and intentional living. You're beginning to feel a shift in your appetite. You used to waste time without guilt, but now every minute feels precious. You used to spend without thinking, but now you're planning, budgeting, saving, sowing. You're developing new habits that align with the vision God is placing in front of you. Waking up earlier, reading more, saying no to distractions. These aren't random behavior changes. They are spiritual indicators that your internal capacity is matching your external calling. Discipline is becoming your new delight. Not because it's easy, but because it's producing fruit. You're seeing how order creates opportunity, how boundaries protect blessings, how systems birth sustainability. You're no longer driven by feelings, you're led by purpose. And that shift is a sign that your life is maturing for wealth and influence on a whole new level. God doesn't bless chaos, He blesses order. In Genesis, before He filled the earth, He formed it. He separated light from darkness, water from land. He established systems before He released substance. And He's doing the same in you. Before He pours out favor, He's setting your house in order. Your mindset is being rearranged. Your schedule is being reevaluated. Because God won't put $1 million mantle on a heart that can't manage $10 habits. You're starting to see that stewardship isn't just about money, it's about your energy, your focus, your relationships, your words, your body, your assignments. You're learning how to prioritize what matters and let go of what doesn't. You're realizing that saying yes to everything is not loyalty, it's leakage. You're not available to every invitation because your purpose is too precious to be scattered. In this season, God is revealing the difference between being busy and being productive. He's teaching you that progress isn't about movement, It's about direction. You're no longer working harder just to survive. You're working wiser so you can thrive. And behind every daily discipline, there's a divine deposit. You're building muscles that will carry the weight of destiny. The people around you may not understand why you're changing. They may call it strict, intense, or even unnecessary. But what they don't see is the future you're preparing for. What they don't hear is the call that woke you up in the night. What they don't know is the vision that's keeping you grounded. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing this for alignment. God is molding you into a vessel that He can trust with resources, responsibility, and reach. Millionaires in the kingdom aren't defined by numbers in a bank account. They're defined by their capacity to manage, multiply, and minister. Discipline is not the denial of joy. It is the protection of purpose. And stewardship is not about hoarding. It's about hosting heaven's plans on earth. So as you continue learning these lessons, know this: every time you choose order over chaos, every time you choose purpose over pleasure, every time you say no to what's convenient in favor of what's eternal, you're building the foundation for supernatural increase. You're aligning with a future that requires more than talent. It requires trustworthiness. Unusual people and opportunities are being attracted to you, not because of anything you've done to manipulate outcomes, but because something on the inside of you is shifting. You're not chasing connections anymore, but divine connections are starting to chase you. You're not begging for visibility, yet people are beginning to notice you. What you're experiencing is not luck, it's alignment. When God begins to prepare you for increase, He first adjusts your internal frequency, and that adjustment sends out a signal that heaven has endorsed your elevation. People you never expected to speak with are suddenly reaching out. Mentors, leaders, collaborators, investors, divine encouragers, they are being drawn to your spirit, not just your skill. You'll notice they're not just coming with flattery or shallow intentions. They come carrying confirmation, strategy, partnership, wisdom, and sometimes access. These are not ordinary people. They're destiny helpers. And they don't show up when you're seeking popularity. They show up when you're walking in purpose. Opportunities are arising that you didn't ask for, didn't apply for, and couldn't have arranged yourself. Doors are opening without your hand on the handle. Conversations are happening about you in rooms you haven't stepped into yet. That's because when God breathes on your preparation, favor finds you, and favor has a fragrance. It attracts people, ideas, and pathways that were waiting on your maturity to manifest. But these divine alignments don't come randomly. They come when your life is postured for assignment. You're not being blessed with opportunities just for gain. You're being trusted with them for impact. You've shown God that you're ready to be faithful over little, so now He's beginning to expand your reach. He's not giving you influence for attention. He's giving you influence for purpose. The new relationships forming in your life carry weight. They carry spiritual significance. They are tied to your next level. And yes, it may feel strange. You may feel unqualified. You may wonder why you've been chosen. But that's the pattern of divine promotion. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He sends the right people into your life when your identity is secure enough to handle connection without compromise. The more secure you become in who you are, the more space you make for the right people to recognize what you carry. Sometimes, the opportunity won't even look big at first. It may seem small, obscure, or even uncomfortable, but don't dismiss it. Hidden inside it may be a door to your next dimension. Sometimes your greatest breakthrough is camouflaged in an unexpected conversation or a simple act of obedience. That's why discernment is critical. You must be able to distinguish between distractions and divine setups, because not every open door is from God. But when God opens a door, no man can shut it. Be wise with these new relationships. Every person God sends into your life will either be a bridge or a burden, and the ones being drawn to you in this season will stretch you, grow you, and challenge you to think bigger and live deeper. They will not pull you backward, they will call you higher. You'll know them not just by how they speak, but by how they provoke the greatness inside of you. They don't come to compete, they come to complement your assignment. You're being positioned in such a way that even your presence is beginning to speak louder than your words. People can feel there's something different about you. And it's not personality, it's presence. It's the evidence of transformation. It's the aroma of destiny. God has marked your life, and others are beginning to sense it. Some will be drawn to it, and some will resist it. But either way, don't shrink back. Don't apologize for the attraction of purpose. You're not being arrogant, you're being aligned. When unusual people and opportunities begin to show up, it's a sign that your name is being whispered in heaven. It's a sign that preparation is colliding with timing. It's a sign that what you've been building in private is about to be revealed in public. You didn't force it, you didn't chase it, you became it. And now, what belongs to you is being sent to you. You feel a strong urgency to serve a bigger purpose. It's not ambition, it's assignment. It's not ego, it's eternity pressing in. There's a stirring in your soul that won't go away. A quiet but unrelenting voice keeps telling you there's more. And not more in terms of things, applause, or visibility, but more in terms of meaning. You are no longer satisfied with just existing, just working a job, just accumulating possessions. You're yearning for impact, for significance, for legacy. What once mattered so much to you, titles, approval, comfort, is beginning to lose its grip, because now your spirit is tuned into something eternal. That urgency isn't emotional hype, it's spiritual signal. God is igniting something deep within you. He's shifting your focus from success to significance, from profit to purpose, from personal gain to kingdom advancement. You've come to a point where you can no longer be content with just living for yourself. There's a holy burden resting on you, an ache to do what you were born to do, to touch lives, to build something that outlasts you. It's not that your current life is wrong, it's that it's too small for what's growing inside you. This urgency makes you uncomfortable with routine. You may still do the same tasks, go to the same places, talk to the same people, but nothing feels the same. Your spirit is on edge. You sense time moving faster. You sense doors about to open, but only if you obey. You know that God is calling you out of the shadows into divine action. There's a mission that only you can fulfill, a people only you can reach, a part of God's heart only you can express. And heaven is tapping you on the shoulder, asking, will you answer the call? Everywhere you look, you see needs. You see injustice, brokenness, confusion, and you can't just scroll past it anymore. Your heart is no longer numb. You cry more. You think deeper. You ask, what can I do? And those questions aren't random. They're the evidence of awakening. God is burdening you with what burdens Him. He's entrusting you with His heart. He's placing the weight of nations, generations, and divine possibilities on your shoulders, not to crush you, but to commission you. This sense of urgency may come with discomfort. You'll find yourself pulling away from distractions you once loved. You'll find that shallow conversation no longer excites you. That surface level ambition no longer drives you. You'll begin to crave depth, to surround yourself with people who challenge your spirit, not just feed your emotions. You'll become obsessed with learning, with growing, with becoming a better steward of the gifts and callings placed within you, because you know the clock is ticking and heaven is waiting. The urgency is the evidence that you are pregnant with purpose, and like a mother in her final trimester, you feel the weight of what you're carrying. You feel the contractions of destiny. You can't delay anymore. You can't hide anymore. You can't pretend you're okay with a small life. You've seen too much, felt too much, heard too much. You've been called. And now the call is louder than the crowd, louder than the fear, louder than your excuses. God is not just calling you to be great. He's calling you to be useful. He's not just giving you dreams. He's giving you assignments. There are lives attached to your obedience. There are breakthroughs tied to your yes. What you're sensing is not just about you. It's about who's waiting on you. You're being pulled by purpose, pushed by vision, and driven by destiny. You've come too far to go back, and now the only thing left is to go all in. So now, if you've seen yourself in these signs, if your heart has burned with conviction as you listened, then know this: God is preparing you for something extraordinary. He's not just shaping your bank account, He's shaping your spirit. He's not only getting wealth to you, He's getting wealth through you. You're not being positioned for money alone. You're being positioned for ministry through abundance, for impact through increase, for purpose through provision. You are not called to chase riches. You're called to manifest the kingdom. And that requires preparation, transformation, and consecration. Millionaires in the spirit don't just make money. They move heaven. They don't just acquire things. They advance destiny. They live by divine conviction, steward with integrity, and give with radical obedience. So don't resist the stretching. Don't despise the process. Embrace the signs. They are divine signals that you're being trusted with more. You are not average. You are chosen. And if God is preparing you, nothing and no one can stop you. Your season of kingdom abundance is not coming. It has already begun.